Okay. Hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm kind of just using this as therapy, a way to process and maybe a way to connect. But it's mostly for myself to just talk about what my life has been like these last few months. And it's been a lot. And yeah. So to start, Thursday, May 15th, I put in my month's notice at my career that I had for just short of 2 years. On paper, it was a very amazing job. It's a very coveted position, and I am very grateful for it. But the institution itself, I just didn't align a lot with what they were standing for. And I started really feeling like my soul dying, honestly. I didn't feel at home at that job. I didn't really feel celebrated or too supported. And I also felt like my time was being stolen from me. And so I listened to my spirit, and with no plan, I quit my job. And it was the most freeing feeling in my entire life. It was the best decision I had ever made. And I still, to this day, am very proud of that decision to be able to get up and go. But the crazy part is that the next day, Friday, May 16th, a tornado came and touched down in the city of St. Louis and hit not only my apartment, but hundreds of homes and businesses in the city of St. Louis, and left me displaced. My apartment was severely damaged, and it got worse and worse over time because we had multiple rainstorms the following week. And I was just left kind of like just a bit abandoned. And not really, I don't claim that actually, but I was abandoned by my landlords. The government officials, the officials of the city of St. Louis, did not move as quickly as they should have and could have. Genuinely, the community of St. Louis is the people of St. Louis. Those that were affected are the ones that came together to take care of one another. So it's just crazy how timing works, because literally the fact that the tornado came the day after I made that huge decision to leave my job with no backup plan was just like, oh my God. Like, I was looking around the universe, like asking, like, what is happening? What is this supposed to mean? What did I do? I didn't do anything to warrant losing my home in a natural disaster. But in that moment, I think I was just really thinking a lot about, like, what does this mean? What is going on? And it's just been a lot of violent change, like abrupt, crazy, disruptive change. That's what change is sometimes. That's what change is most of the times. But it's been a lot to wrap my head around and accept. It's something that I'm in a very different place. I'm in a very different place now than I was at that time. Today, it's currently August 3rd, I believe. It's August 3rd, and so that's how much time has passed, May 16th to August 3rd. And the in-between has just been insane, genuinely so insane. But it was for the best. Not the tornado, not at all. But we're on the up and up right now. I've had the chance and the opportunity to like reevaluate my life. Reevaluate my life. Anyways, let's get into it. So I just decided to take a step out when quitting my job. I decided to just go for it. Even though I had no plan, even though most of the people in my life were kind of like, maybe you should slow down, or maybe you should like do this or that. It was just something that I had to listen to myself, and like I had to trust myself. Like, I might not know exactly what I'm going to do to get to where I need to go, but I know that I can get there. And so I did it. And then to have the tornado happen the day after was just, I don't even know the words to describe it, but it was insane. All the vocabulary I haven't been able to have the right words to describe what I've been going through, but I don't know. Anyways, this is going to be a little bit crazy and chaotic. I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow chronological order. A lot has happened. My brain is still very much all over the place, even though I'm in a better spot, a better place mentally. I'm still kind of all over the place. I'm currently still displaced. My apartment has not done anything. They never checked on me or any of my neighbors. I knocked on my neighbors' doors and went into their homes to see if they were okay. I looked in and saw the damage in other people's homes. And I was telling our neighbors, I was like, you should not be paying rent to live here. Because our landlords are still charging us rent. Thankfully with me, I'm working something out. They still move at a snail's pace to communicate. I literally am pulling teeth to get them to respond to me. They told me that they were going to start repairs in June. Nothing. I was there last week to get like the final things out. Nothing. Nothing's been done. Nothing's been changed. And the roof, so the roof of my apartment flew off. I was on the top floor, the third floor. The roof flew off in the initial tornado, and then we had falling rainstorms, which further damaged my home with rainwater. There was literal puddles just sloshing in my apartment. All of my rooms, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, hallways, bedroom, closets, the ceiling's crumbling, cracking, there's holes, bubbles, you name it. So yeah, I thankfully was able to get most of the items that I hold a lot of sentimental value with. I was able to get those out and into a storage unit, but that was over time. I did have to throw away a lot of stuff. Some of my decorations and whatnot started growing. A lot of my paintings started growing mold. A lot of my furniture was covered in rainwater. A lot of my stuff got rusty. But I'm also very grateful because my situation could have been 10 times worse. And even though I try hard not to compare because I'm displaced at the end of the day. Like, I could sit here and compare and talk about how this could have happened or that could have happened. But something horrible did happen to me and other people. So I'm trying to not focus on I'm trying to not discredit what I'm going through. But I still do recognize the privilege I have that I was able to get things like pictures out and things that I can't replace. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm still here. I was not in my apartment during the tornado. I was actually out of town. And I was looking at the news and I was like, oh my God, when I come back, I don't know what I'm going to come back to. I came back the next night or so, and I literally had to pack an emergency bag that night because I came in to find the damage and I went to go stay with a friend. Ever since then, for about a month or so, or a few weeks, I was staying with friends, couch surfing literally. And we'll get to that later. Couch surfing. Thankfully, I have renter's insurance, which is a crazy story. I'll talk about that. My renter's insurance was able to help get me accommodations, and they placed me in temporary housing in a hotel. That time is now up. I'm no longer staying in that hotel. I think I left the hotel July 6th or 7th. I only got renter's insurance. I moved into that apartment in February. In March, there was another huge storm that destroyed one part of my apartment complex. It took the roof off of one part. The landlords never told us. I didn't even know because it didn't affect my side. I walked outside and met a woman who was taking pictures of the building who lived in the unit that was damaged. And she was asking me if I had any damage. And I was like, I didn't even know that happened to our building. So she just started giving me all these details and saying, you need to get renter's insurance. That was in March. I would have never gotten renter's insurance if it was not for me, the chance of me meeting that woman and stopping to talk to her for a few minutes. And so I got renter's insurance the week after. And then 2 months later, a tornado hit. And if I did not have renter's insurance, I would not be able to be doing what I'm doing right now. I would have not been able to sustain myself still past it's just crazy how a small conversation is what saved me now. And no one ever uses renter's insurance. No one ever thinks to get it. No one really ever uses it. And also, no one ever expects that they're going to be experiencing or affected by a natural disaster. But I was. That's just never something that ever crossed my mind. And I'm sure it doesn't cross anyone else's mind. Like, you're aware that could be a possibility, but you don't really believe that. It just feels like something so grand. But that happened. And so, it didn't just happen to me. Anyways, so during this time, speaking on my job, my month's notice was going on, and I still decided, I was like, I'm still gonna leave this job. My boss even offered, she said we could reevaluate and you could stay. You could still keep your job if you want, which I'm grateful to her for offering. But I had to listen to the thing inside of me, the me inside of me that was begging and screaming to be released from that place. And I think a sane person would have probably kept that job given what they had gone through. But I had to sit with myself, and I decided that I was going to just stand on what I said I wanted and what I didn't want. And so I said, thank you, but I'm going to finish out this month, and I'm not going to continue working here. But for those first 2 weeks post tornado, I was so mentally ill, depressed, in shock, still processing, that I couldn't get up and go to work. I could not be in that building. It was really hard. When I did return 2 weeks later, it was just so draining being in that office, in that environment, because there was a sense of privilege. I worked in a predominantly white institution. A lot of people who worked there and visited did not really see the effects of the tornado. They saw it in the park, Forest Park, which was devastated. In Forest Park was also destroyed, but the city focused on the park. They didn't really focus on the neighborhoods and the people who lost their homes and businesses. So they didn't see that. I actually spent my 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks off. I spent those first 2 weeks going to Fountain Park. Fountain Park is a park in the city of it's in North City, St. Louis, really close off of Del Mar, I think Kings Highway. I'm not good with directions, but I'm pretty sure it's that, or Union, really close over there. And it's a park that's in the center of a neighborhood that was heavily affected by the tornado. It was a center that was used, and I think is still being used, as like community resources. So a lot of members showed up and set up camp there to help distribute resources, hot meals, water, hygiene and healthcare kits, and just like, it's just been used as a hub. And they set up literally like the day after the tornado hit. People from people took time, unpaid time, volunteer time to come help people. And that's where I went the first day I got back, because I had nothing else to do. The first day that I showed up, I came in with this mindset that the first 2 weeks, I don't think that I fully accepted what was happening to me. I was still in a state of shock. And I also truly felt that this is going to be fixed within 2 weeks. This is going to be a huge inconvenience. I'm super uncomfortable. But thankfully I have friends that take care of me, and I'll be back to normal in the end of the month. That was not the case, but it took me a while to get there. So when I first showed up to volunteer, when I first showed up to the park, I started volunteering. I started helping and distributing meals while also getting help myself. But I think I just had this level of it's not as bad as other people. I don't really need help. So I was really reluctant to accept help. So I was trying to give help as much as possible. Something it's not random, but something I do want to mention is when I was delivering meals, I met this man who said that there was an abandoned elderly center nearby that was out of power, and had not been checked in on, and they needed food and water. And so me and a volunteer, Claire, shout out to Claire, I met her that day and never again. We packed my car and we drove it over there. He was supposed to meet us there and we never saw him, but we got there and it was an elderly center, a small place where these people were abandoned, just sitting in the dark. They needed health care, and we just started giving them food and water and taking notes for what they needed. And they were like, oh my God, thank you so much. Where are you all from? Who are you working with? And I was like, I'm just somebody who's also been affected. And when we got back to the park, we found the man and he was like, where'd you guys go? Turns out he gave us the wrong address. But the thing is, the address he gave us was also another elderly center that was abandoned. And so I think that wasn't on accident. That was not a coincidence. We were supposed to be there. And that was a moment that really started showing me what was happening, when I started visiting the neighborhoods and walking the streets and seeing everyone who was affected just sitting outside, sitting in the dark. And I was having conversations with people. I think when I was doing that, I don't think I was realizing that I was also one of them. Maybe it's a pride thing. Maybe it's I didn't want to accept the fact that I was displaced. But that was when I started realizing just how big of a problem this was. And so after having all those experiences, I started going to Fountain Park every single day. And over the week, my resolve started dying, and I was no longer able to volunteer because I started realizing what had happened to me. And I was like, I also need help. I don't have a home. I'm sleeping with like friends. And my stuff is damaged. Some of my things I had to throw away. I didn't know where to move some of my stuff yet because it was just all happening so quickly. And I was quitting my job. That's the other thing. So anyways, I want to give a shout out to the TSDL, which is like a trauma reduction center in the city of St. Louis off the Delmar Divine. Brick STL as well. There's a couple other organizations, nonprofits that really showed up and I think are still out there showing up every day and are just there with a smile on their face and are helping people. I don't know how they have the willpower, but they are there so often and they helped me so much with conversation, resources, and time and effort and care and just hugs and like just gentleness. They met me with so much love and didn't even know me. And I love them so much because I would not be where I am today without them. They were like a formative part of this experience, and I get emotional talking about it because like it was just so beautiful to see people just give and give and give, and the people that were also affected just show up and keep giving. And like, yeah, I'm trying to be okay with crying on camera and crying in general, and because I've been holding this in for a long time. It's been a lot. So anyways, thankfully I was staying in my hotel, and when the time was coming up, I was trying to talk to myself of like, what do I do next? Trying to think of next steps. A lot of people were like, oh, are you gonna get another job? Are you gonna get another apartment? I started looking. I was interviewing. I got offered some jobs in the city of St. Louis that are really cool, and I turned them down because something in me was like, I can't do this again right now. In apartments, I just didn't want to go through that again. This is actually my second time being displaced in a 10-month period. My first apartment in St. Louis had some horrible internal issues and my landlord knew about it. And I was able to get out of that situation very easily, thankfully, but it was also a still very traumatic experience for me because it was my first solo apartment, a place that I found that was supposed to be like a safe haven, and I had to get out within 3 months. So I was still processing that. And then with my current apartment, I was also only there for 3 months again before something drastic and traumatic happened where I had to vacate immediately. Both against like my, both situations out of my control. So I started realizing just how tired I am. And it's so frustrating because I don't come from much. I come from poverty. I've had to work for every single thing that I acquired, I pay for. Rent, car, groceries, like bills. And for some people that's normal because that's normal to me. But I'm 24 years old and I've started paying for a lot of my own stuff at a very young age. And so I don't have, physical things don't come that easily to me because it's all out of my pocket with no help. And that's not something that I want pity over. That's something that I've had to like, it's just life, and I'm used to that. But so to have stuff that I have worked so hard for just taken away from me so quickly. I think that tornado, I don't quote me, but I heard that it was less than a minute long. Like it touched down for less than a minute and destroyed so much. So just to like have all this stuff that I worked for, what? Like, that's been something I'm still trying to like wrap my brain around. And I don't even know if I can. Like, anyways, so getting another apartment, I just didn't want to. I was like, I tap out. I'm done. I literally was like, I can't live this life. I can't enter into this rat race because I was also struggling to keep my apartment. Like, I could afford it, barely. With paying everything I need to pay, it was just like, I wasn't enjoying life. I felt like my life was going by because I was just working and trying really hard to like upkeep everything that I've gotten or keep up with everything I've acquired. So I said, actually, guys, I don't want to do anything. I'm not doing anything anymore. I'm not working. I'm not paying rent. I refuse. And so I sat with myself. There was a moment where I was like, I have to have a plan though. I can't just not do anything. And this situation has really just altered my view of what I have physically, not just physically, outside of physical matter. What is it that I own? What is it that I have? and what is important to me. And stuff just isn't that important to me anymore. I started letting go of so much stuff. I started giving away so much stuff. I had a yard sale and then donated what didn't sell. And like, I distribute some of my personal belongings to my loved ones, because stuff and my relationship to stuff after being displaced twice, it's not that I don't care anymore, but I don't care anymore. I just don't have it in me. Yeah. And I realized that what I have is myself and my car. And I love my car. This is my girl Shelby. We go like this. And something I've always wanted to do growing up was car camping. I've always wanted to do van life, travel life, living on the road. Ever since I was 15, I was watching videos. It's been almost 10 years of me wanting to do this, wanting to go and explore, because I never got the chance to travel. Like I said, poverty. And I realized this is the first time in my life in a long time I haven't had to pay rent. I don't have a job. I've had a job since I was 16. I'm 24. I've had multiple jobs. And like, this is the first time in my life where I haven't had these huge commitments and responsibilities, like so much. And I was like, I'm actually free right now. And I'm taking it as a privilege. Like, I could sit here and talk about what I've lost and what I don't have anymore. But that's just going to keep me down and depressed. And I just refuse. And so I just pivoted drastically. And I was like, I'm going to just do it. And I've been doing it. For the last 3 weeks, I have been car camping. And I have visited multiple states. I am currently on the way somewhere, I won't say just yet for my own safety, but I'm going up north. North. I don't know. And a lot of places. I have so many plans to visit. It's been 3 weeks and I've already seen so many beautiful sights and cities and scenes. And I've been able to meet people that I know online that live in random cities and like let me hang out with them and like let me stay with them. And I have so many plans to just go and like see the world, because I can, and I'm able-bodied. God bless. I have a car that runs. Like, I just genuinely, I have so much. And another thing that I have is I have love and support. I am loved and I'm supported. Like, this time has taught me, out of everything, it has taught me what it is that I have, and what I have is love. When I started posting about what I was going through, I started posting pictures of my apartment and talking about how my landlords were ignoring me. And people started sliding up and saying, what do you need? I have such a hard time saying what I need and accepting help. But this situation shattered that. I was like, if I'm going to survive, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to have to lean on people. And I did. I started opening up. I said, I need money for food. I need help moving. I need this or that. And I gave options. I said, and honestly, and if you can't give me that, that's okay. I had so many people that barely know me, that I've talked to a few times, I've only communicated with through a screen, send me money. I've had people show up and help me move all of my stuff out of my apartment while it was literally raining on us. Like, my apartment, when I say there was one day when there was a storm going on, it was just downpouring. Like, it was wet inside. We were getting dripped on. And I had people show up after working a full day, working a long shift. They showed up to move my stuff out of my soggy apartment, my soggy, destroyed apartment, to a storage unit. And people who I'm not even that close with. Like, I was just taken away by like how much love and support I was given from those who I barely talk to, maybe haven't even talked to in a long time. And like, I have already said thank you, but I want to say thank you again, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for everything that has ever been done for me and given to me, because I don't take that lightly. I have had people who have given me $5 and are like, I wish I'd give you more. And the thing is, you guys don't get it. I am so grateful. You could have literally given me $1. Less than. And it's the fact that you opened your wallets to give me something, or the fact that you slid up and asked what it is that I need or want. I have friends cook for me, store my items, offer to pay and cover some expenses. And it's just like, and also house me. I have stayed with multiple people. They have housed me, no questions asked. They're like, let me know. I sleep on the couch. They make space for me. And that is something that I will never, ever, ever forget. And I get really emotional thinking about it, because if I didn't have that, I would have been so like, if I didn't have that, I don't know where I would have been. Like, literally the love and support of community is what has like literally picked me up from all of this and has placed me here to be able to smile and like still have a lot of hope and faith. And so I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful from the bottom of my heart, because like, wow, I was like, oh my God, you guys love me. It's like, wow, I'm loved. And that has been like a huge mental shift for me, to where like I'm able to just like look at life so much differently. Like, I'm gonna be okay. I don't know how sometimes. I don't know, like, car camping was not what I thought I would be doing at all. Like, it's something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't think I'd be doing it this soon or like in this way. But I'm really excited, and it's been really fun. There's nights where I sleep in my car. There's nights where I book a campsite. There's nights where I might stay at a hostel, or I stay with friends. I go and meet people, and not like in a creepy, not in a scary way, a very safe way. I go stay with people. And I'm really grateful to everyone. And the fact that I'm able to do this is so cool. Like, yeah. So that's what I've been doing with, I don't even know. And with that, another thing, the fact that I'm able to car camp, it's so cool how I started journaling, and I told the universe and myself about what it is that I wanted to do, that I wanted to car camp, that I wanted to travel, that I wanted to be able to sustain myself without having to work. And the world provided. The universe literally said, here, all of my camp gear gifted to me. Literally, I have tents, I have hammocks, I have like cooking supplies, I have like on the road hygiene supplies, storage, air mattresses, like what? Like, and it was all gifted to me, all of it. And I didn't have to come out of pocket for any of that, which is so unheard of. But I am so grateful. And that's why it just feels right. This just feels so aligned. It just feels so like this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. I don't know what temporary looks like. It could be a few months, it could be a few years. But right now I can't think that far. I just genuinely can't. This is what my soul needs. I need rest. I'm tired. And to me, this is rest. I get to travel. I don't have to pay rent. I have to just take care of my car and myself. And I have the capacity to do that. I don't have the capacity to do anything else right now. I do have some other responsibilities that I am dedicated to, and I have the time and energy to do those things. But like slaving to make ends meet, I don't have it in me anymore, because every time I've done that, my stuff gets taken away from me. Because I'm not meant to live like that. And I don't think anybody is. I don't think anyone is. But it just feels like the world like violently gripped me and took me out of a situation that was never for me, that I kept trying to fight and act like it was for me. And they said, you have to go do something else right now. I'm not saying like the tornado was like divine intervention, but I think how I've pivoted is, or like, I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm not grateful for the tornado whatsoever. I wish that never happened. And I'm still grieving. I'm still processing. I still don't think I've fully but fully understood what I just went through, because I'm still going through it. But that's what this is. That's what this back and forth is, this video diary. It's for me to just kind of open up and try to start untangling those feelings. I've had a lot of heaviness on me in my soul, and I don't feel that anymore as much right now. It's still there, of course, but like if you were to talk to me maybe in May or June, I would have not been able to like talk about this without just nasty sobbing. And I'm just really grateful that I'm able to smile. That I'm able to like talk and articulate my feelings, even though I don't really understand them all the way, but I'm trying. So to me, this is progress, and we're gonna go with it. So there's so much more to be said about all that I've talked about. There's so much more in between, but that's what I have to share right now. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I want to end it with more gratitude to all that have helped me and have thought of me. Even a message, like even if you haven't given me a physical item or money or anything like that, people have checked in on me, and that means the world to me. Like, every gift is on the same level in my mind. Every donation, like there's nothing over this. Like I no matter how small someone might think what they gave me might be, I hold it in such a high regard. Like, it's no. So thank you all, genuinely. And I have me, my car, an immense amount of faith and hope in what I'm doing in my journey. And just, yeah, and a lot of love. So I think that's all I have to say. Yeah. Bye.